seeking life's wisdom in an old tale, the link between Gyunmong and our lives. You've probably heard someone say, you should read more books at some point in your life. Yet, when it comes time to open a book, you might find yourself wondering which book to choose, or if you'll even understand the content. Old stories, in particular, often feel intimidating. However, the book I'm introducing today is an ancient tale that serves as a remarkable mirror to our modern lives. This is Gyunmong, a novel written by the Joseon writer Kim Man-young. Does the title Gyunmong sound difficult? The word is composed of gu, 9, cloud, and mong, dream, meaning a dream of 9 clouds. This title itself encapsulates the story's essence. Beyond being an old tale, Gyunmong has the power to provoke deep reflection on the many questions and dilemmas we face in our lives. I'll explain this book in a simple and entertaining way, so even if you're not familiar with books, please follow along with a relaxed mindset, thinking of it as hearing an old story. 1. What is Gyunmong? A life drama unfolding in a dream. In short, Gyunmong tells the story of a young man who experiences everything a person could desire in a dream, only to realize the futility of worldly possessions and ambitions. The story is set in the Tang dynasty of China, a time when Buddhism was flourishing. The protagonist is Seongjin, a young monk studying at the Lotus Mountain Temple under a revered monk, Master Yakin. While delivering a message from his master to the Dragon Palace, Seongjin encounters the 8 immortal maidens. The young monk's heart is stirred by their beauty, and he begins to question whether he must remain a monk in complete seclusion, or if worldly pleasures and desires are worth pursuing. Recognizing Seongjin's wavering heart, Master Yakin scolds both him and the maidens, sending them to be reborn in the human world. This is both a punishment and an opportunity for them to experience worldly life and gain true understanding. Reborn as young Sojio, Seongjin becomes the ultimate golden child. From childhood, he possesses extraordinary talent and good looks, raised in a wealthy family, receiving the best education. He is recognized as a genius in his youth, passes the civil service exam as the top scorer, and rises to the highest government positions, even becoming a prime minister. But that's not all. Young Sojio falls in love with many beautiful women. The 8 immortal maidens he met in his dream are reborn as the most beautiful women and become his wives. He marries 2 primary wives and 6 concubines, all of whom are gifted, wise, and beautiful. He builds a happy family and has many children, securing a prosperous legacy for generations. This is a life where a person could dream of having everything: wealth, power, honor, beautiful wives, intelligent children, and a perfect life. However, time is equal for everyone. As young Sojio ages, he begins to feel a deep sense of emptiness at a banquet with his many wives and children. Is all that I've achieved in my life truly eternal? Is this the real meaning of happiness? Just as he begins to question this, an old monk strikes the ground with his staff and scolds him, "Sojio, have you not realized yet?" Upon hearing this, young Sojio wakes from his dream. Opening his eyes, he realizes he is once again Seongjin, the young monk at Lotus Mountain Temple under Master Yakin. Understanding that his life of young Sojio was merely a fleeting dream, Seongjin attains enlightenment on the impermanence of life and the true meaning of existence. He later becomes a great monk, completing his spiritual journey and living a content life. How did you feel? Though an old story, it contains a dramatic life journey reminiscent of a movie. Rather than dismissing it as just an ancient tale, it raises deep questions we ourselves might ponder at least once. 2. Why is Gyunmong significant for us? A message across time. Gyunmong is more than just an old story. The reason this 300-year-old novel continues to be read today is because it carries a timeless, universal message. Let's explore together what meaningful questions and insights this book offers us. 2.1. The ephemeral nature of life and the question of true happiness. The most central question Gyunmong presents is about the ephemeral nature of life and what true happiness is. Yang Sojio possesses ultimate power, wealth, and beautiful women. In modern terms, this is akin to driving a luxury car, living in a high-end apartment, holding a prestigious position like a corporate CEO or president, marrying a celebrity, and having hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. Everything one could possibly dream of. Yet, when Yang Sojio reaches the twilight of his life, he realizes all these things are ultimately meaningless. No matter how much one enjoys life, time passes, youth fades, and eventually, everything ends in death. We can easily find similar situations around us. People work tirelessly to earn money, only to lose their health. Others buy expensive items to impress others, only to feel an emptiness inside. On social media, we admire others' glamorous lives and believe we'll be happy if we achieve the same. But when we do, new desires and emptiness arise. Gyunmong makes us look inward. It reminds us that our standards for success or happiness may not be entirely correct. The flashy exterior we chase may not reflect the true self. Recognizing that everything in this world is impermanent and constantly changing compels us to reconsider what is truly important and where inner peace lies. The book does not tell us to abandon everything and become monks. Instead, it encourages us to fully experience the life of the world and gain our own understanding. Yang Sojio's life teaches us that only after experiencing and understanding our desires can we transcend them. 2.2. Insight into the nature and control of desire. Just as Seonjin was tempted by the 8 immortal maidens, humans naturally carry desires. Wanting money, delicious food, nice clothes, recognition, love, and happiness is a natural part of human instinct. Gyunmong directly addresses this human desire. Yang Sojio's experiences as Seonjin encompass the fulfillment of every human desire: the desire for power, becoming a prime minister, for wealth, a rich life, for honor, top scoring in the civil exam, for love, beautiful wives, and even for children, a large family. Nothing is left unfulfilled. Yet, Yang Sojio realizes that at the end of his desires lies not satisfaction, but emptiness. This also illustrates how desires continuously generate new desires. Human nature is such that once we achieve one thing, we desire another, and when we achieve that, we seek something greater, much like a parched person drinking seawater. The thirst only increases. Gyunmong does not label desire as inherently evil. Desire can be the driving force of life. However, it warns us that once we become enslaved by desire, life becomes painful. The key is understanding desire's nature and cultivating the wisdom to control it. By deeply reflecting on what we truly want and how it affects our lives, we gain clarity. Modern society constantly promotes consumption and stimulates desire: new smartphones, trendy clothes, expensive cars, overseas trips. Gyunmong invites us to pause and ask ourselves, do I truly desire these things? What meaning do they hold for my life? 2.3. Dreams and reality, the true meaning of life. The core mechanism of Gyunmong is the concept of a dream. The fact that Seonjin's long life as Yang Sojio was merely a dream poses the philosophical question: what is real, and what is an illusion? We live in reality, yet we experience dreamlike moments within it. Sometimes, we also feel deeply real in our dreams. Gyunmong tells us that life itself might resemble a vast dream. It reminds us that even the things we currently consider most important, wealth, honor, power, and even relationships with loved ones, can eventually vanish or change. This realization does not lead to nihilism. Rather, the opposite. When we understand that everything is as fleeting as a dream, we become more acutely aware of the value of each moment. It makes us realize that things acquire meaning precisely because they are not eternal. Understanding that what we possess is not permanent allows us to lessen our attachment to material things. In conflicts with others, knowing that these conflicts may be temporary gives us more room for forgiveness and understanding. Recognizing the finite nature of our lives encourages us to live each moment more fully and gratefully. Just as Seonjin gains true understanding by waking from his dream. 2.4. The three-dimensional appeal of female characters. Gyunmong features 2 wives and 6 concubines, 8 female characters in total. At first glance, they may seem to exist solely to highlight Yang Sojio's success and wealth. But looking deeper, these women are not merely decorative. Each possesses outstanding wisdom, talent, and beauty. They are skilled in poetry, painting, music, dance, and other arts, and significantly influence Yang Sojio's life. Of course, due to the limitations of the Joseon era, these characters are confined by a male-dominated society. However, despite the social norms of the time, these women retain their individuality and charm, offering comfort and advice that enrich Yang Sojio's life. This suggests that author Kim Man-young viewed these women not as mere background figures, but as meaningful participants in life's journey. From a modern perspective, some aspects of this story may seem outdated. However, at the time, the detailed and nuanced portrayal of these women and their talents was remarkable. It indicates that the novel transcends the hero's journey and aims to depict a broader landscape of human relationships and emotions. 2.5 Ultimate Enlightenment and Inner Peace. Ultimately, Gyunmong aspires toward ultimate enlightenment and inner peace. When Seonjin realizes his life as Yang Sojio was a dream and returns to his identity as a monk, he attains true understanding beyond worldly desires. His realization is not nihilism but the wisdom of accepting that everything in this world is transient and impermanent. This enlightenment helps us escape the many pains and worries in life. In our daily struggles with money, heartbreak, and future anxieties, Gyunmong asks where true comfort and happiness lie. It tells us that it is not from external conditions or possessions but from understanding ourselves and cultivating inner growth. Reading this book doesn't suddenly grant all understanding. However, through stories like Gyunmong, we can pause to reflect on our lives, reconsider what is truly important, and explore how to live a more peaceful and meaningful life. This very act of reflection is the first step toward understanding and a process that enriches our lives. 3. In closing, a new beginning from an old book. Dear friends, today we explored together the Joseon novel Gyunmong. How did you find it? At first, it might have felt difficult, but I hope you felt a connection between this story and our own lives. Gyunmong is not merely an old tale or a difficult classical work. It functions as a wise teacher, transcending time and space, asking deep questions about human desires, the impermanence of life, and what true happiness is. It offers a chance to pause in our busy lives and reflect on what we're striving toward and what truly brings us happiness. Reading books might seem difficult and distant. However, within them lies a world of unknown insights and wisdom. Gyunmong is an excellent first step toward opening the door to that wisdom. Just as Seonjin gains true understanding from Yang Sojio's life, we too can reflect on our own lives and find a new beginning through this book. Reading a book is not just about deciphering words. It is about meeting the wisdom and thoughts of people from hundreds of years ago and obtaining a mirror to reflect on our own lives. Gyunmong will surely serve as that precious mirror. I encourage you to step into this ancient story with courage. I am confident it will bring small but meaningful changes to your life.